Hey, guys.
Hi.
Thanks for taking my call.
Oh, it's not Natalie Jones. I had a thought for a moment.
Everyone thought she was going to be on Second Date Update when she had that whole debacle with the
Yes.
music festival.
The interstate romance. But-
It's a matter of time before we end up calling her.
Right. But today, this is a different Natalie. Welcome.
Thanks for taking my call.
Happy to.
I have myself so worked up and upset about this because I thought I had this amazing connection with this guy. And I thought I was going to get into a relationship with him. And then he just ghosted me.
Okay. Did you go on more than one date with him?
We went on one date. But I never told him that we were going to get in a relationship
Oh, good.
just because, like, in the past, I've done that before, and the dudes have, like, gotten, like, so uncomfortable.
Well, yeah. I can't imagine why. But you're saying you didn't do that this time.
No, I did nothing. I played it cool. I thought I played it cool. And when we went to dinner, we went to Outback Steakhouse. And we just talked for like hours. We talked about our childhood. We had so much in common. Like our parents did the same thing. And it was amazing. We like laughed. We had a great time. And after dinner, he walked me to my car. He hugged me. And that was it.
He didn't say anything?
He actually said, "Thank you for your time."
Oh, boy.
I was
Thank
like,
you for your
okay.
time.
I thought he was like weird, nervous, whatever.
Just kind of
And
didn't know what to
that's
say. Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Well, I mean, that is a nice thing to say because, you know, you are appreciative that they took, you know, we've all got busy lives. We all have a lot going on.
Yeah.
We all have a lot of options of things to do with our time.
A lot of options.
And you chose to spend your time with him.
And he
So,
appreciates that.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I suppose it depends on the tone at which he used it. Thanks for your time. Or,
Hey, thanks for your time.
He said it like that.
Oh, boy.
It
I was
feels
just being
almost
sarcastic.
but it feels like a job, like when you leave a job interview and you get that as a response of, well, thanks for your time.
And thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's weird. My pleasure.
You may go.
Yep. yep.
So, yeah. And then that was it.
Okay.
Oh, man.
That was it.
It was the end.
What made you
Yeah.
think that you were going to get into that this could potentially be a relationship? Was it the vibe you got from the date, or was it just all the things you knew about him leading up?
No, like on the date, we were just like talking and talking. There wasn't like a awkward pause in the conversation. It was just great. We were laughing. It just felt like very natural and very easy.
You had good chemistry with him.
Yeah.
And you did say you had a lot in common, so I could see how that would leave you thinking there might be a potential relationship here.
Yeah.
If you look back, as great as that night was, do you remember any awkward silences or moments where he didn't seem to get you or understand the point you were trying to make? Do you think there was any potential misunderstanding over maybe a joke you made or something you said that didn't quite land?
Nothing that sticks out. Like he just, I don't know. He was like one of those people that like you can talk to about anything. And he always has something to say. Yeah, just nothing is odd. And I didn't obsess about anything that I said or did.
Right. Ben went on a great date. They met on Match, and after matching, they went to Outback and had one of those dates where they just connected, talked for hours. But then at the end of the night, when they said goodbye, he hugs her in the parking lot and says, "Thanks for your time."
Which, you know, could be a nice thing to say.
What is that? I don't know what that is, but they had so much in common and it seemed very relaxed and they seemed to laugh at the same thing. So I don't know what happened there, and neither does Natalie. She thought there might be some potential for a relationship based on how easy it was. We're going to call Ben, unless there's anything else that you thought of, Natalie, that you'd like to add to the conversation that you think is important before we call him. Now is the time.
No, I think that's it.
Okay, let's call Ben.
Oh,
what were you going to say?
I did text him and he didn't text me back. I didn't
Okay.
tell you that, but that's like part of the whole thing.
I see. Did you originally wait for him to text you, and then when you got impatient, you texted him, or did you text him right away?
No, it was like 2 days later.
Oh, you waited a bit. Good for you.
Thank you.
Hello, is this Ben?
This is Ben.
Hi, Ben. It's Jeff and Jen at Q102. How are you this morning?
Jeff and Jen, that's awesome.
You're enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how enthusiastic you'll be when you find out this is a second date update call.
This is exciting. My voice is on the radio. Now I'm famous.
You might even become infamous,
You might.
depending on how this goes.
That sounds great. I would love to be infamous.
Oh, boy. People always wonder why people agree to come on Second Date Update, and this is one of many reasons. This is great, though. I'm glad you're willing to talk to us because we had some questions about your date with Natalie, who called us earlier this morning and sounds lovely. Seemed to think you two clicked. There's a lot in common there. Dare we say potential for a relationship?
Okay. Well, I'm sure the men in the room can understand this. TMI, too much information.
Yeah.
I swear to you, I got her entire life story, her birth, premature, and in the NICU for 3 weeks. Doctors were very concerned about her developmental issues, but she's fine. She got her period in the 5th grade, and her mom was out of town, so she had to go buy her own Kotex. She lost her virginity at 16 to a guy named Tom.
You're a good listener. Those are details.
I'm like shocked at his retention. How did he retain all of this?
Yeah.
Those were some of the bigger moments.
Okay.
Then there was her first cat, her cousins who destroyed her Barbie dream house, her crush on her 4th grade teacher. There was so much more. It didn't end. Constant chatter.
So what about all these details bothered you the most?
It was intense because along with every story came her woundings and her traumas and how all these wounds and traumas show up in her life today. It was just too much.
So what would you have preferred to talk about?
On a first date, let's keep it light. Home, family, the basics. Leave a little to the imagination. Save the mental health discussions for later. It was just too much, guys.
So what did you share about yourself? Like, were you able to get a word in at all about what you got going
It
on?
doesn't sound like it.
That wasn't even the issue, that I didn't get to talk about myself. I would have listened to her, but it would have been lighter. No, not so much. I know too much about her already.
Yeah.
That's interesting, though. Although Jen did make a very good point in that you are a very good listener. Obviously,
good
if you
listener.
retained all that,
That's a lot of detail to remember.
a lot of detail this many days later.
Yeah. So true.
to
Obviously,
you.
these stories had an impact on you in some way, shape, or form for you to remember them.
Albeit not in a good way.
I mean, gosh, when she. God. Which story?
they're still there. I'm never going to forget these stories. These stories are set in my mind forever.
So what, she just talked too much, or it was just, well, you did billboard it with TMI.
Yes, it was too much information.
Are these stories you would never want to hear about her, or just not on a first date?
Just not the first date.
Okay.
This is just not stuff you'd talk about the first time around, third date, fourth date.
So what was your reaction?
Even years down the line, you tell me when you lost your virginity. That might not come up for years.
So as you're sitting there and you're hearing these stories, and obviously, she told one, and then she told another, and then she told another. What was your reaction to her storytelling that may have led her to believe that it was okay for her to continue sharing? I mean, were you giving anything off?
For her? I can't answer that for her.
No. Well, I mean, what were you doing? I mean, what was your reaction to her when she's sharing all of this information? Were you like, oh my God, that's so interesting? Were you leading her to believe that you were interested and wanted to hear more of these stories?
Yes, I did that human thing that people do when they're talking to people. They don't tell them that I'm bored by your story and I don't want to hear it. So yeah, of course I didn't do that. That would be stupid.
Whoa. Thank you for meeting me. I gotta go. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you just seem like you're being a little more direct with us than maybe you were with her.
Yes. Yeah. Probably. Right now, definitely.
Well, I'll give you credit for being polite on the first date, but I don't know that served you well because you led her to believe that you really liked her and that you were kind of into her. And we have Natalie on the phone, and we'd like to give her an opportunity to respond. Hi, Natalie.
Of course.
Hi. I felt so comfortable with you.
Yeah.
Like I was sharing my emotions, my inner heart with you. And
Well, that's the problem. You don't do that on the first date.
Dude.
You don't share your emotional problems on the first date.
Well, I know.
Unless you're seeing a
think,
psychiatrist.
I think you don't share it with you.
I could have just ignored you, I guess. That would have been normal. Just sit there and ignore
Why
you.
are you being so mean? I don't feel like I'm liking this anymore.
I'm not being mean. I'm being forthright.
Was he this direct with you on the date, Natalie? Was there
Obviously
anything that
not.
indicated? I mean, I feel like I'm talking to a different person than the person you described.
Yeah, you sound like a completely different person. Like, I wouldn't have shared so much with you if you were the way you are right
turning around.
now.
Somehow we've made this my fault. That's great.
Oh my God.
That's absurd.
It's not your fault. I'm just saying that I liked you and you ghosted me, and now you're a different human being. Not blaming you for anything.
I just thought your stories were too much. I was very honest just now and forthright. I'm sorry that you're hurt, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for taking the call, Ben.
I know. I feel worn out. You just wore me out, buddy.
Me too. I'm going to go take a nap after this.
All right, well, best of luck to you, Ben. Natalie, I'm sorry.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Appreciate you coming on Second Date Update. Best of luck to you as well.